Hey guys, welcome to the North Star Fall Informational Meeting. A little bit different this year as we have to do it online due to the COVID restrictions and guidelines, congregating in a facility, which I'm sure all of you know all about. So we're just going to try to present as much information as we can for you guys. We understand this is not by any means the best way to do this, but if you guys have any kind of questions to anything specific after this meeting, please be sure to email us and we'll answer that as quickly as possible. As I'm sure we'll miss something, not intentional by any means, but this is the times we're living in right now, so we're going to do as best we can.
Awesome here. First thing to go over, kind of the easiest thing of what to expect, your weekly schedule with practice. Everybody's individual team is going to get sent out a specific practice schedule and already have. If there are any adjustments with school being maybe hybrid or stay at home or whatever it may be, we'll obviously let you know right away. We're going to try and stick to that skeleton as best we can, but like anything else with practices and games this year, almost expect it to change, right? So there's going to be a lot of moving parts. The league is a little bit different here. We're going to try and keep the practice as consistent as we possibly can, so we can expect that. For inside practice, people always ask, everybody's going to, that practices 2 times a week, is going to have 1 inside and 1 outside practice. Some of the younger ages only have 1 practice a week, always outside. For inside practice, due to weather or if it's scheduled inside, shorts and a workout shirt for sure for all players. You don't have to wear baseball pants inside. Catchers, however, do please bring cup and gear and baseball pants every single practice, inside or outside for sure. We want to be able to have the ability to go live or to throw a bullpen or just do catcher's drills off on the side. So having that stuff and having it be in mom or dad's car or in your room or in your basement or whatever isn't going to help us. So please try and remember, catchers, to bring cup, gear, and pants to every practice. Outside practice, pants for sure for everybody, and cleats. One thing I didn't mention for the inside practice, just tennis shoes is fine. If you have the baseball turf shoes, that's fine as well. No molded cleats or metal cleats. It's pretty much all turf or turf mats out there. So just tennis shoes work fine, or turf shoes. For outside practice, again, let's just say the practice starts at 5:30. Let's try and get to the field no later than 5:15, 5:20, because we want to be able to get your flip-flops off, cleats on, and be on the line ready to start dynamic warm-up just 2-3 minutes before practice starts, or right when practice starts. So if practice is scheduled to start at 5:30 or at 7, you better be on the line ready to get going at 5:30 or at 7 or whatever it may be. Players are expected to be at every single practice. There is a lot going on in the fall. We get that. Certainly a good amount of unknowns that are happening this year more than other years. So if you do know that you're not going to be able to make it, just communicate that with the head coach so he can adjust his practice plan if it needs to. The one thing that we do want to stress, though, is that a lot of people like having a good experience throughout the whole season on the wins and losses, not just the player development, although we try and harp on the player development side. And it's a lot easier to play together as a team and win more games if we have a consistent outcome, or turnout, I should say, at practice. So do everything you can, please, to try and come to those practices. We do what we can to set a practice plan and help each individual team with what they need to work on and teach the game at a little bit higher level than everybody's used to. So that isn't always easy if you're having 7-8 guys and guys are 10-15 minutes late. And let's get everybody on the same page and ready to get to work right at the beginning of practice schedule.
Okay, so speaking on that player development side of things that we like to do, that brings us to the small group schedule and the small group lessons. Okay, the ratios for small group lessons are this year, as you can see per the outline that we sent out. Any catching, pitching, and fielding class is going to be a 6-to-1 player to coach ratio. That's been a ratio that's worked really, really well for us in the past with previous small groups and training methods. Hitting is going to be 4-to-1. Again, with COVID going on, masks are not going to be required in the facility training. We advise and recommend you wear one into the building. We have hand sanitizer at the front doors. We recommend you wash your hands, or the athlete washes their hands upon arrival and then upon a departure as well, just to ensure that all the safety requirements are being met. There are masks at the front desk if if that is something that you feel comfortable with. But we advise to bring your own, as those are probably going to be in limited supply. We ask that parents please stay out of the facility. Want to limit as much traffic as we can. It's not because we don't want you in here. It's just because we're going to try to limit the amount of people walking in and out and trying to make it as a predictable environment as we can. All the lessons are going to be set to expire October 1, which is that last week of fall. So to be clear, if you do not use your lessons by October 1, you lose them. We have no ability to be able to push that back into the winter training, because our winter training months are just slammed jam-packed of CPP, EHP, and other winter training offerings. Sign-up instruction. You should have the list and the ability to sign stuff up. If you don't, email me. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to follow these step-by-step instructions that I've outlined on the outline. The biggest confusion that most people have is when you sign yourself up. If your player, let's say player name, is on your sibling or excuse me, is your child under their account, and you sign them up under their account name, you will not see it under your account schedule, if that makes sense, okay? What you'll see it under is their name account schedule. So you're gonna have to go into their account and see their schedule. It will not populate. I do not know why. We've been trying to get on for years about it, but it will not populate your child's schedule right to your account. That's the biggest issue we see with the fall small group lessons, scheduling purposes. So if you go in and you schedule, if you have any issues, shoot me an email. I have no problem responding to you and figuring out specifically.
Awesome. Tournament schedules and expectations, and we're going to try and lump in Minnesota Club League games, the league that we play in as well. For tournaments, just so everybody's aware, schedules usually come out the Monday prior to that tournament weekend. I'm sure people have already experienced it a little bit this summer, that a case could happen or travel arrangements change for teams, and tournaments are dealing with teams that are dropping out. So even a little bit later than normal, I would push that back to Tuesday or Wednesday and just be pleasantly surprised if it is Monday at 9 a.m. Just because there's so many moving parts this year, and we all obviously get a little bit frustrated with tournament directors of scheduling questions, but let's keep in mind that they have a lot going on obviously this year more than ever, and are just trying to get the minimum games to work on the schedule given the situation they have. So let's have a little bit of patience with that as well. But that being said, anytime we have, if it's an in-town or a travel tournament, we're always going to be putting in tournament requests before that. If it makes sense, hey, it looks like out of the 20 teams that are registered, there's only 3 or 4 that are really traveling a far distance. Can we get one of the last start times possible? Or can we get a midday start time so we don't have to start at 8 a.m. and eat up a hotel cost the night before? So kind of hang with everything that that's going on this year with that, but just know that most of those schedules are going to come out, Tuesday, Wednesday probably, and in the past sometimes Monday as well. Tournament schedules, it will be communicated again, but most of those out-of-town tournaments that are in Kansas City or Indianapolis for some of the older kids, or Iowa, have turf infields. So that means they do not allow, and even a turf mound on many of them, they do not allow metal spikes on those complexes. Some guys play in turf shoes often, but it's not as easy to do if you play the outfield, obviously. So I would suggest getting molded cleats, whatever way you can, right? Even if it's a Craigslist used option, but having molded cleats is going to be a lot better of an option for natural surfaces and turf mound. They seem to be the most versatile for everybody in that scenario. Any questions on tournaments obviously can be reach out to us directly. For Minnesota Club League games, that's the league that is comprised of mostly 5 of the main clubs that are involved in the operation and administrative stuff in the league, but includes many clubs across the Twin Cities. In the past, this has been your doubleheaders on Sundays, and in the last couple years, for those that have played in the past, it's been a little bit difficult to get games consistently scheduled, or more importantly, rescheduled due to bad weather. And with the whole entire league playing on Sundays, running into any snafus, whether it's umpires or weather. It made everything kind of come to a grinding halt. So in the hopes to both have an opportunity to attend more tournaments throughout the fall if each team chooses, and the ability to spread out some of that kind of risk, I guess, with umpires not being able to be scheduled, or field availability and rain. We're going to be able to schedule our own games as a club. So we're in the process of that right now, being able to independently schedule games with each age level and each team, and we will be utilizing weekdays to that point to help kind of spread that out a little bit. So we're trying to get to 8 league games for every single age group and every team, and we're trying to do that from about the August 10th mark all the way until the September 10th mark, and the end of the season playoff tournament. So it won't be a true like playoff, it'll be an actual tournament. A 3-day tournament will be September 11th, 12th, 13th, if I'm not mistaken, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's just kind of our responsibility to make sure you get those 8 league games. It can be done in whatever fashion. If you really wanted to, you could go 2 doubleheaders, or I'm sorry, a doubleheader every Sunday all the way through. Or you can mix in a weeknight game, or an A plays B, B plays C, A plays C, kind of a 3-team site hub as well, Saturday midday or Sunday or whatever it may be. So we're in the process of getting that pinned down now, when each team is being looked at their practice schedule and their coach's schedule availability and travel distance as well. So we can kind of try and look at the overall level of competition of teams you're going to play, who you're playing, and find a middle ground of a field to play at, that so we can have a little bit more kind of logic throughout that whole month to get games in, and not kind of put all our eggs in that one basket, because we did have a lot of teams that ended up with less games than promised across the club, and it seemed like us maybe more than other clubs even. So majority of the games are probably still going to be a little bit on the weekend, but it could be different for each case, and that'll be set ideally here in the next 5-6 days, and we will be sending that stuff out if anything changes weather-wise. Now hopefully only 1 game is canceled or 1 game is postponed, and then Minnesota, the starters versus North Star game moves from that Tuesday maybe to the next Tuesday, instead of having the whole league shut down and have to reschedule.
Perfect. Speaking on the tournaments and club league stuff, in order for us to register for those tournaments early and secure our spots, we just ask that you remit your payment to us. You can do payment 2 ways. The first way would be in full with a check to avoid an online processing fee. The next way would be a payment plan option, which you can do online. There's a one-time, $30 to $50 payment processing fee depending on the team fee, but that gives you the ability to kind of break your payments out once on purchase date, once in September, and then once in August, and then once in September. So if you have any questions on that, please let me know. But thank you for your timely response on that.